Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Our first story today is about an OP who worked at an airport and encountered a strange situation. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. And our first story. No phone use in the aircraft operating area, no exceptions. Fine, we'll do it your way. Before I had all of my pilot ratings and my job flying, I was working as a quality control supervisor for a fueling company at a major airport in the U.S. My job had me as the person ultimately on the hook for the correct and safe operations of all fuel equipment for the company, as well as one of two responsible for the personal training to use said equipment. Basically, 80 pieces of machinery and 160 people were my problem at any given time. Sure, I had bosses and had responsibilities, but the poop ran downhill to me and the fuelers complained up to my level. I got it from both sides. Standard policy for being on the AOA, aircraft operating area, i.e. the ramp, is absolutely no cell phone use. This is for safety as that environment is full of hazards and even a momentary distraction can be disastrous. Well, as I supervised the entire operation, I couldn't simultaneously monitor the 6 different radio channels we had. As such, my work phone was routinely my communication device as I would get calls from fuelers, leads, management, maintenance, airline operations departments, fire inspector, parts suppliers, etc. Heck, I even had my own secret service agent to call for VIP flights. Not just Air Force One, but any visiting head of state. To say my work phone was an electronic leash would be an understatement. I was standing near the terminal building in an area far removed from aircraft, but still a part of the AOA, and the ramp patrol, airport compliance officers essentially, saw me. Didn't care for my reasons and issued me a citation. Get too many of these and your ID is revoked, effectively getting yourself fired. Okay, no phone on the ramp. Got you covered, boss. Pretty soon airline reps couldn't reach me, and as such, aircraft delays went up. The fire inspector couldn't reach me, so equipment was tagged out of service for minor things easily fixed. The airport duty manager / ADM, person in charge of the operations of the airport, couldn't reach me, so all hell broke loose. I told everyone when asked that I was merely complying with the rules as I didn't want any more points on my ID as I prided myself on rules compliance. Sort of have to when your business card says Quality Control Supervisor. About 3 weeks of this, with 7 delays, 10 in a year is a bad thing, already hitting us, the ADM calls me and asks if I was available that afternoon. I go up to his office and he explains that they are amending the rules so as to allow the use of cell phones in designated areas away from aircraft as well as when in a stationary vehicle. Also, my citation would be wiped. Now, would I please start carrying my phone? I laughed for a while at that small victory. And our second story. Berate me in front of customers? How about you lose all your northern franchises, fella? Between teaching jobs, I also worked as a personal trainer. I took a year out between teaching to work for a well-known gym chain. Let's call them, Fitness Foremost? For more experience as a manager rather than floor staff. This meant training new personal trainers, helping them manage their businesses, collecting rent, and also putting on membership activities. Stuff that would get the members involved with the club, socialize with the view that members were actively engaged with the club would retain their memberships for longer. All was good for the first 6 months. The district manager, DM, that hired me was a great guy who was far too intelligent for his role. No one knew I had been, / was a teacher, / had a background in business development, and we got on very well. He left, however, to go back into design, his first love, and he was replaced with what could only be called a car salesman of a manager. Apologies to any car salesmen out there. You know the kind, a 48 laws of power type of guy, constantly in his office, always on his phone, even if no one was actually on the phone, harassing the female PTs, smiling his effing shark teeth smile all the time, and constantly positioning himself in positions of power or influence. Press release about a new gym opening? You better believe his face was there. Personal trainer winning an award? Guess whose grubby little fingers were also clinging to that tiny piece of perspex. Other than the PTs, I had 2 members of staff that were directly employed to be floor staff, keeping the gym clean, reporting any machines broken, and carrying out instructions, etc. DM made them redundant without telling me while I was on holiday. came back to a gym with no staff. He then terminated the cleaning company contract, again without telling me, to save costs. Other gyms under his influence still had their cleaning companies come in at the end of the day and make sure everything was spick and span. I asked why ours had been cut, was told that because we were in a suburban area, we're actually off a road lined with shops and by a major tram stop, we didn't need them. Well, I asked, who would do the cleaning? Guess who? So from a position of influence where I managed a small team and consulted with PTs on best practice, I was now effectively charged with cleaning the gym full-time. Luckily, S and I had been approached by a local council to work for them in a number of schools and a prison, and I jumped at the chance, now disillusioned with the fitness industry. I gave my 3-month notice with the intention of working out the rest of the summer holidays to earn a bit of cash rather than sit at home all day playing PlayStation and abusing myself. In the meantime, because I'm too busy trying to keep an entire gym clean, I'm unable to help the PTs build their empires, so they were struggling. I also didn't have time to put on any more membership engagement events, which I had paid for out of my own pocket because reasons and something I will never do again for any organization. Also, I can't really work 15-hour days without a day off and no staff other than a receptionist that won't leave reception. And why should she? All's well and good, but then a month and a half in, DM brings in his London-based counterpart. However smarmy and irritating DM was, the London dude was 3 times that. I get pulled into my office, which was turned into a storage room, and loudly berated with the door open for the shocking state of the gym. I had no idea what he was on. The gym was clean. He then makes me do a walk around and proceeds to drag his finger over the tops of some machines to show me there was dust. It could only have been made more perfect if he wore white gloves. The rest of the gym members watched this as he moved from machine to machine looking for any modicum of dust. At one point, he literally jumped on top of a cable frame to show me how dirty it was. Unless some of our 8-foot members were stooping down to lick the top of the machine frames, it wasn't a problem. I explained that I could not clean every single square centimeter of machinery without any other staff. Back to the office, and my bad attitude was berated. The fact I had stopped putting on membership engagement events, etc., and I should go home and think about my future. I realized then that both of them had no idea or had forgotten that I'd given my notice. Oh, happy day. I stifled a smile and was asked what I thought was so funny. Here's the thing. The amount of F's you give is proportional to the years you expect to stay in a company. As I had approximately 5 weeks left before starting a much better/higher paying job, I found myself bereft of F's. I solemnly agreed that I would think about ways to improve my work performance and my future in the company. They laughed, having successfully chided my sorry butt. I waited about 12 minutes after they left the building, grabbed a red permanent marker, and wrote, "I quit" on one of the A3 posters being stored in my old office. Got my coat, hugged the receptionist, and drove home. PlayStation on, phone off. The revenge. Well, you can't really run a gym with just a receptionist. I was told that the DM actually had to roll up his expensive sleeves and get scrubbing, which was great. But hey, let's get to the juicy stuff. Here's what happens if you quit your membership at Fitness Foremost in the Northwest, under DM's reign. You have to give your notice in writing. Of all the people that quit, a third had payments continue to be taken from their accounts. From that third, approximately a third would still not check their bank accounts, although the other 2/3 would complain and be refunded, and so on and so on. There were people a year gone from the gym still paying their membership fees, all kept in a special file in DM's pigeonhole. Fitness Foremost also had a forum specifically dedicated to them, built by their most PO'd members, called F Fitness Foremost, and a Facebook group, all run by ex-members who got a bit of insider knowledge on this practice of ignoring a third of all cancellations. Check your bank statements, people. Local papers get a sniff and start asking questions. Huge up in arms, DM's boss swoops in and removes him shortly afterwards. Gym memberships are now so low that the gym itself is sold to a competitor. Knock-on effect is that they lose all of their Northwest sites. As far as I'm aware, they only exist south of Brum now. I'd like to think the collapse of their northern franchise is due to me, but I think it's more due to simple mismanagement and not caring about the customer. I also like to think he's being chained to a bike with no seat and forced to cycle up and down the UK, but oh well. And our last story. No, don't get a job. Back in the day, my dad used to run his business from home. One day, while he was out on a meeting, the phone rang and my mother picked up. On the phone was a man asking to talk to my father. Man, is Dad there? Mom, good morning. I'm sorry. I'm afraid he's left. Can I help you? Man, no, I just wanted to ask him something. I'll call back. Mom, well, you can, but I'm sure he would prefer to have me pass along the message so he can call you back when it's more convenient for him. Man, listen, little lady. What I have to talk to him about is quite important, so I'd rather not rely on some secretary. I'll call back. Hangs up. Later that day, the gentleman called back. My dad had been filled in by my mother, and we were all waiting for that call with excitement. Man, is this Dad? Dad, hello. Yes, it is him. What can I do for you? Man, hello, I called earlier today. I'm looking to work for your company. Do you hire interns? Dad, actually we do. You called earlier? When? Man, this morning your secretary picked up, but you were out. Dad, oh, I didn't get any message. Man, well, I told her I'd rather deal with the boss. I don't trust secretaries, you see. Dad, oh, I see. Did she tell you she was my secretary? Man, well, no, but I guess she was. Dad, you see, that's funny, because I don't have a secretary. I do, however, have a wife. Man, oh. Dad, you see, my wife and I talked about it and realized that we really need to hire a secretary. It'll just be easier for us, you know. However, we can't afford both a secretary and an intern, especially an intern who doesn't trust secretaries. It'd just be too complicated. Man, no, but I mean, I could... Dad, no, don't worry. I'm sure you'll find something. My wife wishes you the best of luck. So do I. Goodbye now. And that was the best phone call I've ever had the chance to listen to. We may have lost the possibility of getting an intern, but it was so worth it. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.